What is office fit out?
Well, office fit out is just the construction of office space ultimately.
Hmm.
I would say that the key thing is like office space is really unique in
Hmm.
terms of a lot of people say to us like, "Oh, I've done a house or I've done my residential project," and I would say like it's just completely different. With the commercial space, we need like insurances in place. Landlords want to protect their asset and their building, so you have incumbent preferred suppliers. The reason there is a fit out world is because it is unique and it's a bit of a niche. So office fit out ultimately is fitting out the office to a tenant's bespoke needs. And the reason it's an industry is because it's very, very different to your average like house build or anything like that.
Hmm.
We have to do building control, have to have insurances, use incumbents, work with building management. Like it's super different.
Hmm.
So that's why it is its own industry and its own niche, really. And the costs are different ultimately as well.
Hmm.
Commercial products are made to last 10 years, 12 years. You get guarantees, warranties. Um, the density of certain products is different 'cause it's supposed to be long lasting. The sofas are made different. The fabrics are different because you've got 20 people using it a day, not like at home where you've got a family of four using it, right?
Hmm.
So all of these things, like it's just different. I would say a bit like rounders and baseball, isn't it? If you're an alien looking at both sports, you go, oh, they look the same. But actually, if you're playing them, you're like, wow, this is so different.
Hmm.
So I think on the office fit out, a lot of people make the error of trying to do it themselves. And, we'll come in occasionally and go and look at a space where someone's tried that, and you go, wow, like, this is not good. You shouldn't have done it this way. So I would say if you have an office fit out project, treat it like that.
Hmm.
Come and talk to office experts and understand why it is different, and then kind of make your decision on where you want to go, really.
Hmm. Kind of leads on to the next question.
Yeah.
Should I use a design and build company for my office?
Yeah, 100%. Like, there are different ways to procure. So some people go trad where you might get an architect and then a build company. The problem there can be just communication. Like an architect often has these big ideas, and they are often like amazing ideas too, right? Architects are extremely talented people. But then by the time it goes down to a builder and the budget, like the separation of those ideas becomes big,
Hmm.
like significant. Like, and also the builders aren't always as good at like communicating those differences. So the final product could be really different. Whereas design and build, because it's all in-house and we're all working together and our designers are commercially minded because they're working with the project managers, like those communication gaps just don't happen.
Hmm.
So I think design and build for projects between 100 grand or £75,000 to £1 million is the best way to procure.
Mm.
Above that, it becomes different and nuanced again. And like again, it's worth a conversation. But I would say like anything on those budgets, 75 to £1 million, like design and build using one company, their in-house design, making sure their in-house designer talking to the in-house build, like it's the best way for quality and guarantees, etc. Like there's no
Hmm.
better way to procure it, I'd
Yeah,
say.
funny enough, I've seen of late a few different projects have
Mm.
come through where they've had a external designer
Hmm.
who's come up with some amazing ideas, looks great, but
Yeah.
actually once it's costed, it's triple the budget.
Yeah.
So actually they have actually quite a disconnect between what the designer's thinking and
Mm.
actually what's realistic based on budgets.
100%. It happens a lot.
Hmm.
We get an architect's design occasionally. You're like, wow, this is amazing, but that product's on a 15-week lead time.
Mm.
Like, you need to be in 6 weeks. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, listen, like, there's lots of different ways to procure, but I would say D&B is the best
Yeah.
for certain size projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an exciting question. What's
Yeah.
the difference between Cat A and Cat B fit out?
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Funny, a lot of clients have such big thing with this. They're like, "Oh, the landlord said like, they're delivering it to Cat A. What does that mean?" And you're like, "It just means category A."
Yeah.
So it's category A and category B. That's
Right.
it. Category A is like almost like white box. Lights are in, AC's in, but it's all done to a just open plan configuration, no finishes.
Hmm.
Cat B is your tenant fit out. Like that is literally it. But yeah, I don't know where it all originated from, but I know it's a bit of like a sticking point for people, but
Yeah.
it's really,
Actually,
really
I
simple.
had a tenant ask me what shell and core is yesterday.
Yeah,
Luckily, I could answer that question,
that's
but
good.
go on.
Well, shell and core is the step before Cat A
Hmm.
ultimately, where it's the bare bones of the building
Hmm.
ultimately. So it could be concrete slab, concrete walls unfinished, no AC, no floor,
Hmm.
just ready. Which we've done a few of those projects, and they're great because you get to like position everything perfectly.
Yeah.
In a weird way, you can actually save money despite it being more work.
Hmm.
Problem when you take like Cat A is a landlord puts an AC unit there. but you don't need it there. You need it over there.
Hmm.
Whereas when you do the shell and core, you can actually put your Cat A in the right positions, and then your Cat B becomes much cheaper. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, if you have the appetite and the budget to take a shell and core,
Hmm.
it could be an amazing project. Most people just don't have that ultimately.
Yeah. How do I choose the right office fit out company?
Um, I would say like design is the magic of what we do.
Hmm.
So like, I love having creative designers in our office. Like I think, that's what you want. You want like real creativity and then great people too. Number one. So I'll say like design. Number two is like, social proof. Look at the portfolio.
Hmm.
Like if they've done great projects with great people, it means they're probably a great company. Like it's kind of obvious.
Hmm.
And then number three, like I think it's just about working with genuine people. Like our industry has a lot of salespeople. Ultimately what we do a lot is sales,
Hmm.
and like, some people are really good at it. But if you went beneath that and like tested their knowledge or their experience, you might find gaps. Whereas
Yeah.
I would say like, the USP for us and why I would pick to work with us is it's genuine and authentic and knowledgeable.
Hmm.
Like we've done 10, 12 years of like real projects from 20 grand small works to £2 million fit outs, like and everything in between. So I think when you get like me and Tony on a project, and like, say like Charlotte, super creative, you're just going to get like the best
Hmm.
possible team and products you can get. So I'll say like social proof, design, creativity, and then just like genuine, authentic. Like go behind the curtain a little bit, and the salespeople like ask the right questions. What's your project background? Like, have you ever worked on site? All of those things do matter
Hmm.
because you can only give good experience if you've like been there, done it, made the mistakes, learned from it. And I just know like with us, people like us because it's genuine and like authentic.
Hmm.
Like we're not lying to anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can tell. It's like, no, I can see you've done this before. Like,
I was speaking to Raf yesterday,
yeah,
and obviously he's worked for a few fit out companies, and he was saying, one of the companies he worked for was amazing at winning new work, but their delivery was terrible.
yeah,
It's like, actually, these guys are a tier one fit out company, hundreds of millions of pounds they're turning over per year.
yeah,
But actually, they can win the work, but they actually can't
mm,
deliver very well and are creating a name for themselves in
yeah.
that sphere, which is interesting, right?
I know like when I joined the industry that a few of the companies said like, we could be selling anything. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter. We could be selling pens,
Yeah.
like, or cars, like it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And I guess that's what I mean. Like, you just got to go behind the curtain a bit and
Yeah.
just see, like, are you just a slick sales machine, or the people that I'm dealing with, whoever the account manager, the project director, like, do you know what you're doing?
Hmm.
Like, have you done it a lot of times? Like, have you been on the front line of it? Have you been a project manager, a pre-contract manager? Have you been on the tools? Like, they're all great questions that I would
Hmm.
I would ask, because I think that's one of our niches. It's like, there's there's no sales machine. We're not hiding behind anything. We've done it all,
Yeah.
and like, that's what you get. So
Actually, some of the feedback I've had about you
mm,
is that you're very honest. So if there's a way
yeah,
to say, you'll say. And I thought that was quite striking, just because I thought, oh, they're not doesn't is that not
yeah.
what everyone's doing? Apparently, it's not.
No, I don't think it is, but I think with us, because we're owners of a business, we approach things in that way financially a little bit.
Hmm.
So, I'm like, every penny we spend, like, I want to know the value.
Hmm.
So my mindset for my clients is the same. It's like, what would be the value in doing that?
Hmm.
Like, if there is super high value in it, or it's just something you believe you have to do, fine, like go for it. But actually, if you could do it this way and get the same impact, would you think about that?
Hmm.
So all those questions, I suppose that's what I mean by like going behind again on this sales people. Like, if they're not saying stuff like that, then maybe they're not that knowledgeable, or maybe they don't care about your project that much, right?
Hmm.
Like, you just got to do all of those things before choosing the right partner, I would say.
Good.
Yeah,
Good answer, I think.
thanks.
Can one company handle office, agency, design, and fit out?
Yeah, they can. It's called
Yeah.
Soul Spaces. Um, they can. Like, I think the benefits of it are significant.
Hmm.
I really, really do. And it's not to say you won't tender us out at different points.
Hmm.
You can still use us for all of those things, or use us for office search. Get the benefit of our design and build company being involved, and then tender us out at a different stage to make sure you're getting value.
Hmm.
I'm never scared of being price checked, because I'm like, I know, like, we price our jobs like at least 10 to 15% less
Yeah.
than tier one competitors. So like go for it, like 100%. But
Hmm.
I think the benefit of it, and can we do it? Like 100% we can, and we should. You know,
Hmm.
that's why we came together as business partners, because you offer that skill set and I offer this, and it bridges the gap
Hmm.
of having to go to 2 or 3 different companies. So it's a really great model, and I think the companies like Attensi, 8 and 4 that have used it, you know, they'll really see the benefit and
Yeah.
sing the praises of what we've done.
Well, funny enough, I've been putting together case studies, and
Yeah.
actually, when you break down the figures, and it's quite boring stuff to be honest, they're going through what they rent, what their headline rent was, what the
Yeah.
rent-free package was, how much they spent on a fit out. Actually, you go, oh wow, they're paying 15-20% less than the rest of the market, and
Yeah.
they're in Fitzrovia, they're in Mayfair, they're in Soho. These are premium locations, but paying less than everyone else.
Even the fee saving on the lease, you know,
Hmm.
like if you drop it to 5%, say, and
Yeah,
the fee would be 30 grand, there's 15 grand boom, like
yeah,
saved, you know, like
exactly.
amazing. So it is significant. And I'd recommend, like, you know, ultimately, if you are doing any project, you should be speaking to different types of companies anyway.
Hmm.
You know, like maybe you would speak to a CBRE, an institution, and then you speak to us as an independent who does everything, and then
Hmm.
someone else, to really see the benefit of each one and then make your mind up.
Hmm.
So again, like, I think we're very comfortable within that because we know our strengths.
Yeah.
And like, you know, of course, like you might not want to go to one company initially, but if you do come to us, you'll see the benefit of what we do.
Hmm. Horses for courses, I'd say.
Yeah.